Tonight, a growing debate over data centers as a number of demonstrations play out across the country.
AI is coming for your jobs. Heck, it's coming for my job too. This is a wake-up call.
Welcome back to another episode of Bowls on the Table, where it's time to eat with financial fundamentals. I'm Chef Erol Pearl at DBCHEFTV. Please make sure to like and share this video. Also, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so when I go live, you never miss a meal. We got a lot of things heating up in the economy right now. It's just feeling like summer. And tonight, we are going to be talking about the AI and how it's affecting everybody. It just seems like everybody's been going through a lot of stuff with this AI. Whether you're a content creator trying to utilize the tools, or a developer, and you're losing your job. We even seeing riots, not riots, protests. They may lead to riots though. It's kind of getting crazy, but we're gonna try to break some stuff down and understand some of this stuff was going on. So before we do that, y'all, make sure to head over to www.bksoulfarm.com and pick up your copy of 10/16/160 Self-Sustainability by Ali Dawood. It's a tool that we need to have. Everybody needs to have. Everybody needs to get self-sustainable, especially with this type of topic. And these things that we're seeing going on in our world, in the US right now. And then don't forget to also subscribe to DB Chef TV on YouTube and put your name in the hat to win $100, y'all. We give away $100 each and every third Sunday of the month. So we would appreciate if you subscribe to the channel. It helps us, and we want to show some love back to those who show love to us. And don't forget, we got DB Chef TV merch, and the link is in the description. And if money's tight, it's all right. We still got something you can do, and we're gonna love you if you just smash that like. So before we get into it, let's see what's happening in the markets. Okay, so today we got the NASDAQ closing up about 1.25%. Then we got the Dow Jones closing about 0.75% up. S&P almost 1% up, and Bitcoin right now trading in that $60,000 to $70,000 range. And then what else we got? Let's check out the gold price. We got gold at $4,100 right now per ounce, and it's off its highs. It pulled back, but it's looking real affordable. I would like to see gold down at 3,500, to really I mean, anytime you're buying it, it's good anyway. But I would like it to see at 3,500. That would be something that would make me say, okay, I need to go back in and look at my portfolio and see where I need to accumulate. And then we have silver too, y'all. Silver is hitting today. Silver's at $60. So it came down off of the 115, 116. It's maybe around 120 or something like that. That's what we'll call it. So it's half off. Silver's still a buy, So look at miners, ETFs, whatever your choice is, check it out. And And yeah, it's beneficial, y'all. Get you some, y'all. Get in the game because that's real money. Okay. So that right there is what's happening in the markets. So we're gonna go ahead on over to the Bose board so we can get into today's topics. So we have today's financial fundamentals, navigating the rise of AI. And we have two particular things that we want to focus on: the AI impact on USA jobs and protecting homeowners from data center eminent domain. Okay. And if you don't know what eminent domain is, don't worry. We got a definition. We're going to go over it and make sure that everybody has all the tools that they need to be able to understand what's going on with eminent domain if you're a homeowner, and how you could possibly be affected by these data centers, be you and myself. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is check out the AI impact on USA jobs. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to this article here that is let's see, let's bring up this article. This article here at Yahoo Tech. Okay. It is a tech layoff tracker for 2026. And in this article here, it's by Katie Teague, a senior writer over there at Yahoo. And we're not going to go through the whole thing, but the link is going to be in the description. We just want to talk about some of the key highlights. And it just says we're just over halfway through 2026, but unfortunately, we did not get here without a ton of tech layoffs. Just last month, 14,000 job cuts happened at EV automaker Lucid, game developer Bungie, trading platform company Robinhood, and others. Okay. And right now here, it says the adoption and deployment of AI technologies across operations have resulted and may continue to result in reductions to workforce. And that's what Oracle said. So what we want to do is we want to go down here and we want to look at all of the businesses that have been land workers off. True Up finds that layoffs seem to be moving at a faster rate than last year, because over 245,000 workers in tech were let go in 2025, while there have been more than 165,000 layoffs this year in 2026 so far. So several of the companies have laid off employees due to increased spending in AI, but there are a lot more reasons too, because you have supply chain, you have cost issues with the war, and it's a lot of things for employers to what they like to say is restructure their workforce. So we have Microsoft, 4,800 jobs. That's about 2.1% of its workforce. The Xbox division is getting chopped up. They were the hardest hit. Then we had Samsung eliminating 179 jobs. Not that significant, but the move is expected to impact around 1,000 workers. Okay. Then we have Bungie, the Sony Interactive Entertainment division, and they let a lot of people go. The EV maker Lucid announced it's cutting around 18% of its workforce. So that's going to be a significant amount. You have Rackspace, a cloud computing company, who's already laid off 750 workers, and that was 15% of its workforce. Then you have Rivian, once again, around 2%, Robinhood, Salesforce, Groupon, Wix, Webflow, ClickUp, Intuit, Meta, NPR, Amazon, Cisco, LinkedIn, General Motors, Cloudflare, PayPal, Coinbase. Okay. And that right there, y'all, was just that was May. you know, so we didn't even go through the rest of the article. The link will be in the description so you can go check it out. But I mean, you know, job security is becoming a rarity now. But you know, we got a couple questions for that. We got have one specific question that I think will help us understand that a little bit better. Let's head on over to we talked about we mentioned this company here, Tune, what are they called? What are they called? They're called True Force. What are they? True Up. And a lot of people may not be familiar with True Up, but True Up, I'm gonna bring this graph up, is a company that tracks all tech jobs. Okay, they track all tech employment. They actually, if you're a tech person, you know, IT, anything in that field, you can actually go on True Up and actually find where the hirings are too. So they don't just track the bad data. They, you know, and this isn't promotion for them. This is just in my own research. I found like, oh wow, that's great. If I was a person who did IT or was in that field in information technology or any type of tech, this would be a great tool to use. So that way, you know, if I was looking for employment, I would know where to go, you know, or if I was looking for places that are reducing, I would know where not to go, you know, because if they're reducing their workforce, then they may not be looking to hire, if that makes sense. So this is a graph that that they showed and that they have there. And it's showing like in August, we see like 6,000 jobs. And it shows additional layoffs, people impacted when you scroll over. You know, 11,000, Accenture, Amazon, 14,000 people laid off, Verizon, 13,000, HP, 6,000 people in November, Synopsys, 2,000 people. You know, it gives you a very detailed description of what the employment market is looking like versus something we're going to go to next, the jobs report that we typically get. But let's go ahead and get to that, y'all. So True Up, if you're a tech person, you know somebody who's in tech, this may be a tool. If you're just interested in it, you know, you can keep up with who's being fired and who's doing the hiring, you know, at True Up. Then we can go over here to, I'm gonna bring up this tab, trading economics. And it's the United States unemployment rate. All right. And it says here, the United States unemployment rate dropped to 4.2% in June, which was down from 4.3 in May. And they said it was below expectations. As many people have left the workforce, the number of unemployed fell by about 213,000 to 7.9 million, while total employment declined about 500,000 to about 162 million. The labor force contracted by 720,000 jobs to 169 million, with the participation rate falling to 61%. And that is the lowest since March of 2021. That's like right after the pandemic. They say the employment rate also dipped to an over 4-year low of 59%. And the broader U6 unemployment rate, which includes discouraged and underemployed workers, decreased from 7.9% to 8.1%. So if you don't know what discouraged workers and underemployed workers are, discouraged workers are workers that have not looked for a job in a month, and the government does not count them as unemployed or an official part of the labor force. Okay, they actually get measured. They say U6, but they have a metric called a U4 rate to account for them. And then underemployed workers are officially counted as employed because they work maybe like fewer hours, part-time, involuntary work. You know, jobs did not fully utilize all of their skills, or it's part-time workers. So the discouraged workers are the folks not working. Underemployed workers are the part-time workers. So if that helps you understand that a little better, I hope so. But yeah, y'all. So this is a chart too. You can go right here to tradingeconomics.com, and you can track all of these different things here. They show you the unemployment rate, year over year, 3-year, 5-year, 10-year max. Good charts here. This is all free. You can go here and you can keep up with this stuff and compare it with the tech layoffs, and you can kind of get a direction where things are going. We don't know until the data is released, but you can see it going on in the market. So it's definitely going to have some effects on everybody, especially those people that are losing their jobs. It's such a tragic thing to be replaced by some computers. But however, we have a question though. With all of this going on, the biggest question, the most important question that I would think that one would ask is what are the jobs that AI won't replace? Because if you're a person who is working now and you're in fear that, you may lose your job because of AI, you may be replaced by AI, or you're a young person and you just starting your career and you're trying to figure out, like if you're not going into the military, or you're not, doing what they call a professional degree, where you're a attorney or a doctor or something like that, some sort of engineer. You may feel like I don't have options. There's no options out here. But what I would like to share for everybody is that is the question that I would type, or I would recommend to type if I came across someone and I was having this conversation, with anyone that I influence, anyone that is talking to you, is trying to figure out what to do in their life and which direction to go, especially for the younger people, especially for the young folks, and even someone who maybe didn't have a buyout package, because a lot of these tech companies are giving their senior employees, certain type of packages to transition. And they may be a little older and don't want to go and relearn something new, but you have someone who's maybe only been in there for 5 or 6 years, and now they're like, shucks, I have to go now and learn something new because I'm being moved out. My job is being taken over by AI, so that would be from company to company. It would only be a matter of time because everybody will scale it. So in the event that you encounter something like that, or someone who encounters something like that, then you would just suggest to them, hey, let's check out what jobs won't be replaced by AI. So when we examine that, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit for this, bring this up for you guys. Zoom in a little bit. Okay. Y'all make sure to smash that like button, please, and thank you. And also subscribe to the channel. And leave some comments, y'all. Let me know if I'm doing a good job on and if this is helpful. So we have right here, we have just a Google search, jobs AI won't replace. It was, I mean, it was really that simple. Didn't have to put a whole lot of, thought into it. Just thinking about, man, if I was back in the work field, which direction should I go? So it says here, very helpful. You have health, therapy, healthcare and therapy, nurses, therapists, and social workers. Success here relies on empathy, nonverbal cue reading, and real-time physical assessment. You have skilled trades, electricians, plumbers, and HVAC technicians. These jobs require navigating unique physical spaces and repairing equipment in unpredictable conditions. We also have education and child care, early childhood educators, specialized teachers. All right, they specialize in building trust and manage emotional needs that are central to those roles. You have emergency responders, firefighters, paramedics, law enforcement officers. These environments demand high stakes, more reason, and spontaneous physical action. Okay, you have creative strategy, creative directors at high level strategists. While AI can generate content, humans are needed for the authentic cultural understanding and strategic vision. So right here, I know plenty. I'm a person who always suggests that I really wish that that we were coming out of high school, that they brought the VOTEC back. Maybe President Trump hears this, he has these narratives that he wants to bring industry back, So I think a good step in that direction would be bringing back VOTEX into the high schools, where young people have these options at that level. It's not where they feel like they have to go to college, because college isn't for everyone and it comes with a lot of debt. So, young people can actually start a family, start a career, have a skill that they have for life. Some of these other people that have been in these fields, if they need to retrain and go back to work, they can do this. And it also allows entrepreneurship, where you can start your own business. A lot of electricians start, they work, plumbers, HVAC techs, carpenters, masons, uh, auto guys, auto mechanics, like they learn this, they work somewhere for a while, and then they open their own businesses and become entrepreneurs. Healthcare, nurses, therapies, you always have work. Some people, humans will always get sick. There'll always be someone to care for. We always need therapists. Shout out to my therapist. We always need social workers too, because, we just live in an environment where these things are normal. So don't think that there aren't any options. And yeah, and if you have someone that may, be worried because they're in one of those situations, let them know. Let them know. Share this with them. Share this content with them. So let's head back over to the Bose board so we can talk about our second topic tonight, y'all. We got protecting homeowners from data centers' eminent domain. Now, the first thing we want to do is I have a little video clip because this is a real thing that's going on. But before we get into that video clip, let's discuss what eminent domain is. Okay, because I think a lot of people are unaware of it because it isn't something that we commonly encounter. But it seems like that this is going to be a thing with this emergence of AI centers coming, AI data centers coming, because it's a big push. Okay, so we have eminent domain right here. And once again, it's just a little Google search, y'all. Eminent domain is the legal power of the government or authorized private entities like utility companies. Okay, depending on where you live, FPL, Georgia Power, Duke, Bell Atlantic, Con Edison, whoever, wherever you are, wherever you live, those are the utility companies. That's who you pay your light bill, your electric bill to. All right, to seize private property, okay, for public use without the owner's consent. And that's one of those things that it's just like, man, you work so hard to pay your mortgage, pay your taxes, keep your lights on, make your house beautiful. So when you look at it, you feel good about where you live. You keep your place clean. You take pride in where you live at, your community and things like that, all to just be seized, and told you have to move without even, without even having to say so. So this is a thing that is real, that everyone, we're all subject to, but let's check out this story, y'all, because it's one of them things that's just, man, it's a tough pill to swallow.
Some homeowners in Georgia are being given an ultimatum to sell their homes, or the state will, get this, take it to make way for AI data centers. CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry has more.
I'm a single mom. I worked hard for everything.
How do you put a price on a home you never intended to sell? One filled with more than 2 decades of memories.
I think I was 5 or 6 when this was built.
The yard where you buried your pets. The greenhouse that fed your family. But Ansley Brown's childhood home likely won't be here much longer. That's because the state's largest utility, Georgia Power, says it needs the area to make way for a 35-mile-long transmission line.
Georgia Power has been here for as long as Ansley's mother has owned this property. It's just beyond the tree line. Now, with the expansion of this latest project, they're looking to take the 2.5 acres the house sits on.
Georgia Power says increasing demand has outpaced the capacity of its existing grid, and building a new transmission line requires acquiring more than 300 parcels of land, including residential properties. Georgia Power estimates 70 to 80% of the power on this new line is expected to help serve data centers. It says the remaining 20 to 30% of power will serve the state's growing residential and commercial demand.
Georgia Power told us that they feel as if they've done this process responsibly. What would you say to that?
I disagree. You can't tear down 35 miles of rural Georgia and it not hurt something or somebody. And to say that you're doing it in the name of data centers is a slap in the face to us, our community.
Brown's mother recently came to an agreement with Georgia Power to sell. Brown says if she didn't, the utility could have sought to acquire her property through eminent domain, a legal process that allows private property to be taken with compensation for projects determined to serve a public purpose.
Eminent domain is always, a last resort for us, and it's something we never want to do.
To us, it's theft. It's literally a billion-dollar company stealing land from smaller people who can't fight back. We don't have the money to fight Georgia Power.
What do you say to someone who will push back on any sort of offer that's out there and say, well, a price tag can't replace memories?
I would just say that we see you and we hear you, and we want this process to be respectful and transparent, and that is going to ultimately benefit you.
Okay. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. She said she would like for Georgia Power representative said that they would like for it to be respectful, and benefit you. But I don't know how respectful you can get just taking somebody's home. I mean, that's just my personal sentiment. Because I understand the young lady, whose home is being affected. It's like all of those years, all of that time, all of those memories. It's just like, wow, this is a real thing. So we have, in situations like this, we say, okay, well, what type of questions do you ask? Where do you start? If you get something in the mail saying, hey, you have to, we're going to say, we're going to buy your home, you have to move. And, it's because we have a data center that's being built, and we need, you know, your space. So this would be my first question. I think oh wow, this is crazy right here. Hold on, y'all. Having a little technical difficulty here. I don't know what's going on. Trying to pull something up. That's all right. We back in. All right. So the question I would ask is, what rights do homeowners have against data centers? That would be the most beneficial question. I mean, I think that would be the most educated question, a question to help you get through and find out what you can actually do. Okay, because without this, without knowing your rights, then you're really just gonna feel like, you know, you're getting taken advantage of. So let's check out and see let's check out and see what rights we may have. So this is just a simple AI Google. What rights do homeowners have against data centers? Real simple, y'all. This is where we start anywhere. Okay. And it says homeowners have rights regarding local zoning, environmental protections, and legal nuisance claims against data centers. Because data centers operate constantly, emit industrial noise, and require massive amounts of energy and water, affected residents have several avenues to protect their property. So let's look at some of those things. All right. So we see zoning and land use interventions. Most data centers require rezoning and special use permits. Public hearings. Homeowners have the right to challenge zoning changes and participate in local planning commission or city council hearings. I believe that that's going on right now in Florida. There's a story about a data center. It's the first largest data center in Florida. Y'all can check that out. And I believe it's in Palm Beach County. And their, you know, their city council and their city, the homeowners, you know, they're challenging this place. They, you know, they don't want it in their community. All right. Then you have conditional use requirements. Communities can push for legally binding restrictions on setbacks, noise, water, and generator use. And then you have state and regional ordinance. Like many states, including South Carolina, are proposing or implementing new regulations and moratoriums governing where data centers can be built and how close they can be built to homes. Okay. So that's a good thing. Then you have nuisance laws. All right. Even if a data center complies with local zoning codes, homeowners have the right to use and enjoy their property without unreasonable interference. Okay. Private nuisance. Homeowners can file a lawsuit claiming damages for noise, chronic vibration, light pollution, dust, or air emissions from diesel backup generators. Damages, you may be entitled to recover compensation for property value, diminution, medical health costs. You know, that's the heat that they emit, some of the toxins that they put off, if any, sleep disturbances, and emotional distresses. Okay, then you have injunction reliefs. Courts can force data centers to limit nighttime operations and install sound walls to reduce the decibel output. And then you have eminent domain and utility challenges. Okay, power companies building new electrical transmission lines to support AI data centers may attempt to acquire private property through eminent domain. Public use arguments. Homeowners have the right to challenge these land seizures if they argue the power lines are solely for private corporate entity rather than general public use. Public utility commissions. Homeowners can interview in state public utility hearings to protest rate hikes or the routing of power infrastructure through residential areas. Okay. And then we go taking action right here. If a data center is being built in your vicinity, you can take these actionable steps to protect your rights. Document the evidence. Start a paper trail immediately by recording the noise levels, getting well water tested by a certified lab, logging disturbances with timestamps, and documenting your home's current market value. Okay. Consult experts. Speak with land use or property rights attorneys, experience in nuisance law. Okay. These are the things that we have as homeowners, or you have, if you are a homeowner, in your toolkit to be able to, to combat if you encounter something like this. However, what we have to understand is that when it comes to eminent domain, they have, the corporations have the authority, like we see there in Georgia. Those people are going to lose their home, So it's unfortunate, but hopefully these things, as this progresses and we continue to watch how AI and data centers continue to affect all of us, hopefully there'll be some tools, some resources, something that we can use, that we can have to help us combat these type of situations. But yeah, let's recap. So we had that AI impact on USA jobs. And what were some of our key takeaways? There are job types that will not be impacted at all by the transition to AI. A Google search will and can identify those specific job types. Okay. And if you know someone looking for a job or career field or career in this career field, share the information. Share the information. I was going a little fast with the preparation, but and 2, we have protecting homeowners from data center eminent domain. Become familiar with your city, county, and state's eminent domain statutes. Those are the laws. If you don't know what the word statute is defined as or means, learn the laws of where you live. Okay, about this if you're a homeowner. Okay. Pay attention to any and all new construction or developments near you, i.e. businesses, large buildings, warehouses. Be mindful of this. I know where I live, there is it's a huge field. It's a lot of land. So in the area where I live, there could be a data center built, because it's so much open land that's available. And then and if you do encounter this, try to get the most money for your home. If you are forced to sell, that would be, that's the only things. If you're forced to sell, like, just try to get the most money for your home. And yeah, it's tough. It's a very, it would be a very a somber day, but but hopefully some of those things can help and people are informed. Links will be in the description to everything that we talked about here. And that's all I got for y'all. Until next time, everybody have a peaceful, positive, and productive rest of your week. And make sure to please like and share this video. Also subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, so when I go live, you never miss a meal right here at Bo's Podcast, Bo's on the Table. Until next time, peace, y'all.
BKSoulFarm.com, 1016 160 self-sustainability.
Smash the like, comment, subscribe, and share the content. Don't be rude. At Brunch Fellas, let your love speak at TLS Podcast. The Love Speak. Cigar Sundays on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell, so when they go live, you never miss an episode of Cigar Sundays Live. We give our best to honor our vets. Subscribe today and watch episodes now streaming on YouTube at TVK Podcast.
Sign up for the newsletter and shop merch and clothing at DBCHEFTV.com.